Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special training game done by Lily Vanilli against the AI. However, this is not the AI that is playing in the Farmers League, but instead it is one difficulty higher because Lily Vanilli, in the end, won 4-0 against the AI. So she's looking for new challenges, especially to be able to compete against other players such as Der Vasall and Jesse the Emperor in particular. And I think Lily, after beating the AI decisively, now is looking for greater goals. And I think she wants to at least get one win against Der Vasall. And seeing Der Vasall play, especially in Game 4, I think that is even a little bit too low of a goal. I think she should aim for at least 2 victories against Der Vasall if he plays like that, like in the 4th game. So let's see what Lily Vanilli is doing in this matchup. Of course, there's a lot of mistakes here in the early game, like killing 2 turkeys at the same time. Now also putting this villager here on wood instead of going for a woodline. Probably she has not scouted the woodline. No, well, she can see the woodline here, but yes, so she is really going for these straggler trees, which you never want to do. But it's not too bad. It's okay. Also, she is now queuing loom, which I think for the newer players is a good thing because then your villages are just a little bit safer. If you're going for the boar, I think it makes sense. But now Lily really needs to scout. I think that's something she needs to do a little bit more because there's only one more turkey here underneath the town center, and then she will be out of food. She does see this boar, so that is nice, but she doesn't see those 2 turkeys or those 2 turkeys. So she needs to be a little bit more active in the early game just to make sure that there's a constant supply of food coming in. I think now she does find the turkeys, and I think, yes, she also sees the second one, so nicely done there. She is, of course, playing as the Byzantines. It's her favorite civilization, because it has a lot of bonuses like cheaper Stäblemen and Stäblewerfmänner and also cheaper camels. So that's all the units that Lily likes. And whenever she is asking basically what is the counter to X, I'm always saying Stäblemen, but then she produces the wrong kind of Stäblemen. But yeah, I think she's working on that. So the lure wasn't perfect, but again, it's okay. It's not bad, but yeah, now instead of killing another turkey, those villages would be better off going for the boar instead. But those are minor inefficiencies, so everything's not too bad. However, why does she not have a lumber camp yet? Typically, you go for 6 villagers on sheep, or in this case turkey, and then the 7th builds the lumber camp. Instead, she's going for a mill first. Is she gonna do some kind of pre-mill or like pre-lumber camp rush? No, actually, she is now thinking about the lumber camp. This is a nicely placed one, so that is fine. What is our blue player actually doing, and what is it? What do we see in terms of villager numbers? So we see that Lily Vanilli has a lot of idle time already because she's 2 villages behind. Of course, she did get loom, and I'm not sure, but also our teal player here did get loom as well. So effectively, she is 2 villages behind, which is about 1 minute of not producing from your town center or being housed. Now these villages really need to be retasked. Where is Lily Vanilli focusing? Probably on the front, on the scout. I'm not sure. There's not too much going on, but now she realizes this. But it's kind of a mess. Like, why are you not putting these to the boar? Like, the boar is also a much faster way of gathering food. So if a villager gathers from berry bushes, it actually generates food slower than if it gathers from a boar. So it's always preferable to go for the boar instead of for the berries. And also because then you also want to bring in the second boar. So put them on the boar because you know you're gonna bring a second one in anyways. So that is very important. Okay, but that's all of that is fine. At least not game deciding. Luckily for Lily Vanilli, she was actually able to lame 2 turkeys here from our teal player, so that is nicely done. And she's doing a good job scouting, already scouted a few of the buildings and also seeing the main goal. So typically, depending on the map, of course, on Arabia here, you have a main goal, which is quite a few tiles. And if you see this big gold pile, you know your opponent has to be here. I mean, of course, she already knows that teal is over here because she saw the buildings, but this is a clear indicator that this is the rough area where the opponent is. And yeah, so let's see what kind of strategy she's going for. Right now she's heavily housed, so again, classic rookie mistake there. Okay, no more food here. Now the boar is being brought to the mill, which is not terrible, but also not great, because it just adds a little bit of walking time back and forth, makes everything just a little bit less smooth, just a little bit slower. And I think that's because Lily is always wondering, like, where am I losing time? But it's just these little things, and they can add up, as you can see here. Teal, of course, the AI doesn't have any such troubles of multitasking. AI is almost 4 villages ahead of Lily Vanilli, just because of small inefficiencies being housed here or there, not clicking in time. So the AI is, of course, better at that. However, the AI is maybe not as good in strategic thinking, and also does weird Vasall type moves, like a double lumber camp on one wood line. So this is where the AI basically falls down, and also kind of weird building placement here. Generally, especially on Arabia, you want to wall off, so you want to maybe drop your houses more like between those two wood lines, or from the wood line to the gold, or something like that, just to create a little bit of a wall off. Now, both of our players are on the way to the next age, and of course, Little Vanilli now closing the gap a little bit in terms of villages, but that will open up once Teal is in the next age. So clear advantage there for our AI player. However, Lily Vanilli knows what the weakness of our AI player is, and that is early aggression, or aggression in general. So she is going for a barracks, and I'm guessing she will go for some spearmen, because she just loves that unit so much, even though it's not the best really for raiding. But maybe I will be surprised and she will plonk down an archery range here and then do some kind of harass off the goal, because she knows that the main goal is forward. So it would be very easy to put some archers here to harass this gold. Also, we have some wood lines that might be harassable, so to speak. And also Lily, very nicely done, doing more scouting, knows about the berries, knows about the stone, also knows that the town center must be here due to the farm placement, and is really checking also the secondary gold. So we have basically secondary gold that she knows of. So she can easily think about denying all the goals of Teal, and that's a very strong strategy on many maps and many matchups, is just denying the goal, because then your opponent is really limited in their options. Lily these days really going for the early economy upgrades, and that's a very good thing, because double bid X, probably the single strongest economy upgrade there is for its price. It adds about 20% extra work rate for lumberjacks, which means that for 5 lumberjacks you get an extra lumberjack for free, and that just scales up until the late game. Overall, all the villages seem to be working. Now finally Lily finds her final 2 turkeys. It wasn't too bad, because she was able to steal turkeys from the opponent. And also now going for a sneaky tower, and that tower is actually outside of the vision of the AI, which doesn't bother the AI. I think the AI knows that the tower is coming anyways. However, for a human player, this would be very sneaky, because this tower will only be visible once the Teal player moves forward. So what players typically do is they drop the first tower and then drop the second tower over here, which is in the range of the first tower, and then the second tower denies the gold and is protected by the first tower, so it cannot be rushed that easily. Now Lily Vanilli also learning from previous mistakes and really walling off the tower. Of course, we have the famous Stäblemen, and yes, this tower is safe, but the only thing that probably what she doesn't have is access to stone. And yes, so if you go for a tower rush while you're on the way up to the feudal age, you typically send about 3 villagers to stone, so you have, by the time you finish the first tower, you have enough to build a second tower. Also, typically you go forward with like 3 to 5 villagers, depending on your playstyle and what you want to achieve. But that's still a pretty good like forward position. What we just need a follow-up here. We need a way to pressure this gold and pressure the farms. Otherwise, Teal with this immense amount of farms, 20 farms, this is ridiculous at this stage of the game. With 20 farms, the food income of the Teal player will just be very good, and you can see the food climbing. Gold is already stockpiled, so Teal is well on the way to the next age. And now Lily overproducing on Spearman. This is 6 Spearmen. We haven't seen a single unit from Teal. So if he's going for scouts, okay, then you want to have this many Spearmen, but then you want to have them mainly at home, because you need to defend at home. Imagine if some scouts were coming in now to the gold. Lily would have nothing in defense. And this is also why pro players basically never go for these kind of forward barracks, because you want to have the Spearmen at home to defend. But now the Spearmen finally attack. But if you look at the stats, it's 3 attack, and a villager with loom has 1 defense against melee. So a Spearman effectively does 2 damage to a villager, whereas a villager with 3 attack actually does 3 damage to a Spearman. So Spearman weaker than a villager in terms of combat. And then of course you have attack speed and stuff. However, the AI, at least at this level, says, okay, I don't want to deal with that, and I think that's fair. Even the human player would be like, okay, not worth to deal with all of those villagers. So that is actually nice, but now the AI is saying, okay, I need a counter to this, so let's go for archery ranges. But still, nice damage here by Lily Vanilli, because all of these villages have to migrate and are not working at the same time. But still, so much missed opportunity. Imagine a tower right here. That would be so lovely. Gold would be denied, some farms would be denied. And nice poke here on the scout, making it weak. So the scout, sometimes the AI attacks with its scout, but now it's weak enough so that I don't know what got deleted here. We're not gonna talk about that. In terms of villagers, very nicely done here from Lily Vanilli to not let the villager gap grow much further. And now we have some counter Stäblemen, but Lily Vanilli is not fighting this. Why are you not fighting this? Just kill this one. Now finally she realizes, very nicely done, because if you have such a big numerical advantage, it's always worth it to fight head on and just eliminate these units one by one, and that's exactly what she's doing. And this is very cost efficient here. At the same time, some more Stäblemen over here realize that there's an archery range being built. And the teal player, of course, now already in the castle age, whereas Lily Vanilli, if we jump to her point of view, is also on the way to the castle age. So nicely done there for her. And she is harassing those villages. But the thing is, imagine if she had any other type of a unit, if she had some scouts or some archers, then those villages would not be harassed, but they would be dead. But this villager actually might die, probably not, no. But the first knight is out, and then she thinks she really needs to micro this and attack the knight with all the spearmen, and then I think the knight will die easily because it's such a numerical advantage. So this is nicely done, and now the tower finally comes into play, but of course Lonely Tower doesn't hit too much. It's really more of an area denial tool. It's more like, okay, don't go here. That's what the tower does. Now we have the scout fighting against the knight. I think the scout should be put on auto scout, because then it just explores the whole map and you don't need to worry about it, because most likely it's gonna die anyways. And now Lily, with all these Stäble, she has so many Stäble, she can easily fight those 2 knights, but she needs to realize that all of the Stäble need to be fighting, and I think she is realizing that, and that's very nicely done. She will lose maybe 1 or 2 Stäble, but the knights have been dealt with, and Lily now in the castle age as well, also producing knights, but she is heavily housed, of course, forcing up 1 more house. And maybe she thought this was a mill, because that would actually be a very nice mill. But now making more farms, but no more houses, unfortunately. Also an archery range in the back, but no archery units being produced. So actually it would make sense the other way, to have the barracks in the back for defensive spearmen, and then have an archery range forward. But she also has 1 forward, so maybe she will produce from that as well. In terms of villages, now of course Teal is gonna boom ahead, because Teal has already dropped 2 town centers, so in the economy game heavily in favor of Teal, but Teal does not have the map control. Instead it's in favor of Lily Vanilli. But now we have the dreaded Mangonel, the Noob Slayer unit, that can really, this one unit can kill a weaker player by itself. basically. But we have knights out on the field, and actually knights are the perfect counter against the mangonels. And so this is very, very nicely done here by Lily, easily killing the mangonel. Now she just needs to micromanage a little bit. Nice reaction time here. You can see that she's really getting better. One thing I would like to know, like to see of her, is just a little bit more awareness. Like, see, okay, this wood line is active. Villages could be here, so you could send your villages there, but maybe she's a little bit too afraid, and that is fine. If you want to have this defensive mindset is okay if you anyways are in a good forward position, if you just push a little bit here or there. And now the pikeman upgrade is coming in. She's still heavily housed, but she has a lot of resources as well. And now with the pikeman upgrade, these pikemen get +1 attack, which means they deal 1 more damage to villagers. And with forging, so with the +1 attack upgrade, they really suddenly start to become able to kill villagers, which they're not able to do in their pikeman form. But now the knights are moving out and they're finding some villager kills. And this is very typical AI behavior, just drop lumber camps everywhere. So shouldn't be surprised if you find a lot of villagers roaming the map. But this is perfect for Lily because she is able to kill villagers left and right and also pressure the opponent here near next to the farm. So one thing she is missing that she's neglecting a little bit is siege. So what you should drop is a siege workshop, and then 1 mangonel is enough to pressure this town center. Just have 1 mangonel sit right here and pressure the town center. Of course, you need to be wary of opposing mangonels, but overall this just gives us such a strong position. And now typically I do not like rams in the castle age too much. However, in this situation, 1 ram would be good to just clear up these buildings here, these stables. And now the dreaded mangonel finally making a bloody appearance, killing Stäblemen left and right, and will probably also kill 3 more skirmishes. Let's see. No skirmishes being killed, but more Stäblemen being killed. And yes, and even more. This mangonel has like 10 kills already. So that is a very valuable mangonel, but it gets taken out, and it only killed a few spearmen. And for the Byzantines, the spearmen are so cheap that it doesn't really matter. And the monk is there, and the monk does not get a conversion, I think. Oh, well, maybe it got 1 conversion. No, I don't think it got any conversion there. So nicely done by Lily, keeping the pressure up. I just think we need a follow-up. And if you look at the wood, it would just be so easy to drop a siege workshop here. Siege workshop, and then you can push in, destroy some of the buildings. Also, the knights could be a little bit more active. See, most of this army is kind of idling. But yeah, other than that, it's a good strategy and a good approach to just be active, be the one who's doing the push. And I think that's also a strategy that will work against other players, like potentially De Vasall, if he's playing like he has played in the 4th game in particular. Oh, sorry, Vasall. I just have to mention it because it was such a wacky game. Now, Lily going for a second town center here. I think this is too far forward. This is an unnecessary risk building this town center with a single villager, because a few mangonel shots could easily destroy this if you lose this push. So instead, I would love it more if you would drop the town center maybe on the gold, just to secure the gold, or maybe on another wood line if you need wood and food. And so this would be stronger, because I think now comes the more dangerous time where the teal player has enough economy, has enough stockpile to be able to kind of push back, to just flood Lily position here with more and more units, even though there's this ant trail going back and forward, not doing too much. But I think this could become dangerous really soon, because this economy still is kind of untouched. So it's a lot of farms, a lot of food income. And yeah, let's look at the resources of our teal player. Constantly producing from 3 town centers very consistently, so the AI is really able to boom and consistently produce. And then 2 knights in the queue, mangonel in the queue, pikemen in the queue, and this can just become overwhelming at some point if you don't match that same production. Also, what Lily could focus on is maybe getting one monk out, just not only to collect the relics, which are not that important maybe on the skill level, but just healing all of those units, because if you heal them up, then the units are basically as new and can just fight, whereas these knights are now weak and might be taken out from this knight. And yeah, so but Lily Vanilli is still doing a lot of damage here on the economy of the teal player. I mean, you just see the stupidness of the AI with these lumber camps. This just doesn't make any sense. The villagers keep running out there, keep getting slaughtered, and now finally we have the castle drop. Although that castle could have almost been denied if that Mangonel would have done an attack round here. That castle would have been down and all the stone would have been lost by Lily Vanilli. However, I think that's a very strong position for Lily Vanilli. Could have been even a little bit more forward, but honestly not necessary. This is pretty safe with the tower, with all the units here, and it denies the gold. Now finally denies this this main gold, and yeah, is a nice platform to further push. But still, we need the siege, we need something to push the town centers, to push the economy, and so Lily Vanilli either needs to go for Imperial Age and go for trebuchets, or really go for some mangonels of her own. Although if your opponent maybe produces this many mangonels, it's not advisable to go for your own mangonels, because it might just so happen that the mangonels get shot down. And yeah, and the AI also is very good with repairing. So this is a typical AI behavior. If you don't commit enough onto a mangonel, you will not kill it, because it's just gonna get repaired. But I think the 2 scouts that Lily has here and the knight is just enough to kill the mangonel. But now it kind of gets scary. I mean, a lot of the units of Lily Vanilla are weak or have been dealt with, and yeah, she just needs to keep the pressure up. And at the same time produce also from multiple town centers, but all of the villages are queued on one town center, which is not even this one, but the forward one. And so you really need to make sure that you're instead of building 5 from one, to just distribute it among the town centers. Other than that, yeah, the lumber camps could be refreshed, but who am I to say anything about that? And the farming eco looks nice, a little bit messy, but it's completely fine. I mean, she's doing a lot of aggression. Also, misclicks, typical misclicks happen, happens to everyone. I'm also guilty of the same thing. Now the skirmishers having their +2 attack, they're not good against knights, but they contribute. They're good against the pikemen with their bonus damage, and so they're just a good harassment unit in this case as well. But Lily again could be a little bit more active. Put them on stank ground, put them right here. There's so many villagers. I mean, maybe she does not see that. No, I think she sees it. Yes, because the Byzantines, one of their bonuses is that they get town watch and town patrol for free. So their buildings have a huge visibility. Look at this. This castle sees all the way up into the economy here. So you really know what your opponent is doing at almost all times. Now these villagers want to do some shenanigans, I guess. But yeah, I think you should just focus on the main push. Should focus on getting some siege out. Maybe one ram. One ram would honestly be more than enough to just kill these buildings here. Now Lily realizes that there are some juicy targets here. Now going for the Mangonel, very nicely done. Having the siege workshop now out. Let's see how she is using the Mangonel. I think the obvious choice would be to just if you look at this town center, just put it here, which is perfectly safe, and just kill the town center. I think that would be the best option to use it, because the Mangonel has 7 range, the town center is only 6 range, so there's no way the town center can ever hit the Mangonel. However, we see some unit pathing problems here, which has gotten even worse with the last patch, even though of course the fanboys will claim otherwise. It's just an unmitigated disaster. And if you ever come around to play the original version, you will see that pathing in 1999 was better than nowadays. But of course, Lily, this castle is not, I mean, against the AI, it's kind of fine, but against a human player, not a great idea, because it's just 2 villagers. It might just easily be denied, and then what can happen is that this castle is walled in, and Lily is not able to complete it. and then it's a lot of stone and resources invested, and yeah, it might even be denied here by the pikemen, although there are some knights around, so I guess the castle's almost up. It will be enough, maybe. No, there's a misclick. No, literally just retasking the villager, and we can see that the mangonel is now in perfect range, attacking the town center, and you see how devastating that is. The blast damage, I think, doing some damage to the villagers. I'm always not sure. It does some damage to the villagers underneath the town center, killing 2 more villagers here. And that's just so strong in terms of villager numbers. Still, the teal player, you see the constant production from 3 town centers, just super strong. Still ahead in terms of villagers, even though teal is losing villagers left and right, trying to garrison here, not being able to do that. And teal is just in shambles. I think Lily has won this game already. All the villagers are idle, and now the second castle is up, causing so much havoc. And I think that teal is just out of wood as well, having a castle here, but that castle is not doing anything. Really nice push from Lily Vanilli. Now also having cataphracts out. I don't like this mangonel, but yeah, it's just too excited and probably just gets destroyed by the other mangonel that is just focusing on the job, that is just saying, I'm just do this one job that I'm tasked to do. And that is good enough, and now it could just be tasked over here. But I think this game is pretty much over. All the villages here are idle. Lil Vanilli is on the way to the Imperial Age, and our teal player is nowhere near Imperial Age. Although teal, of course, as the AI always does, tries to expand, tries to hide away, and try to find a way to come back into this game, but I don't think it's possible. We see an X here by our teal player. I don't know why the teal player, why the AI wants to X. I don't know what the purpose of that is. Now this mangonel gets too overexcited, so mangonels should, if you have the micro ability, should always be put on stand ground as well, or usually because they just like to wander in here. But look at how weak these villagers are. Just a little gust of wind and they will fall. And yeah, we just watch the slaughter as it happens. Lily now in the Imperial Age. Now she can come forward with trebuchets and more upgrades. Even another castle being built by a single villager. I think this one is unnecessary. You already have 2 castles here. Send a message and put it somewhere. Although I think there's no real space here. Also, this mangonel needs to be dealt with. This is something that is very important. That the mangonel is kind of bugging out. You see all the waypoints where it wants to go, and see the pesky repair. It's just very difficult to kill mangonels of the AI. However, repairing does cost resources, so even if it's being repaired, you still effectively do economic damage to your opponent. And now we have some stray knights here finding the villagers that are trying to escape here. However, defensive stance not the best, because the knight will just attack a little bit and then go back. Another X here. Desperation from teal, who's like, oh, please leave me alone, please leave my poor villagers alone. No, they're getting mauled by rocks hurled by the mangonels, and the castle is shooting on the town center, and it's just a matter of time until it falls. And we can look at Livani's point of view. If she has gotten any upgrades, yes, she's gone for Cavalier. So typically you don't do this with the Byzantines, because they don't get bloodlines, so the Cavalier is not that great. But if you have a lot of knights left over, then it's totally fine. However, Lily doesn't have that many knights left. I think it's like 2 or 3. Instead, she has the cataphract, so it would have been better to go for the cataphract upgrades, also the attack upgrades. But overall, it's completely fine. I mean, if you're in such a position, and I also like the diversity of units from her. She has pikemen, and she has skirmishers, mangonels, cataphracts, and cavaliers. So there's no like single unit that would be able to deal with this army. You would need a composition of units, and that's just always very good if you're not relying on like a single unit that can easily be counted. But yeah, so now it's just a matter of waiting and killing your own units, as mangonels like to do. They like to kill your own units, and again, a lot of damage put onto this cataphract. And oh, I think another shot here. Oh, mangonels. Oh, almost killing. Look at this mangonel. It's like it's playing for teal. Look at this. It's just unhinged. I think there's gonna be another shot here. Look at this. Yeah, look at this. Oh, yeah. Another kill for this mangonel. So this mangonel should just be deleted to send a message. It's just sabotaging at this point. What the hell is that? Now there is one more town setter, I think, for teal in this game, and 3 mangonels are being tasked to kill it, and I think it will not be long for this world. Still, teal staying in this game, even though we're now at 22 villagers, Cavalier, everything's roaming the map, and I have to commend Lily for this, 98 villagers, and I mean, she's got a few isles here or there, but overall, pretty nice economy setup. It's not even horribly unbalanced or anything, and Lily Vanilli actually wins the game against the AI, and I think it's the very hard AI. So there's only one more AI that is a little bit better than this one that Lily has to defeat, and then she can be very, very confident going into the matches against the other players. My name is Peter Host, and this was a lovely little training game, and I hope to see you soon.